Hey guys, welcome back to Horticulture Geek. I'm Ray. Thanks so much for joining me here on the channel today. I haven't put out some videos frequently because, guys, it is so hot here in Central Arkansas. It's literally, by the time you get out here and get to working, you're so wet and drippy that the last thing I wanted to do was put my face in front of the camera. I just got through watering the garden right now, but it's overcast. It looks like it may rain later, so I thought, I'm not too bad looking. Let's get the camera and let's shoot this video I promised. So I'm gonna do a garden tour today and show you the garden all cleaned up. We did rearrange the patio. I'm gonna show you that, and I'm gonna introduce you to our new chickens here at the homestead. So stay tuned, let's do it. Okay, so first things first, let me introduce you to our two new chickens. I think you guys are gonna like them. They are a pretty rare breed here, but they're pretty fun. We have loved having them here on the homestead since we got them this weekend. So let me introduce you to them. Wait, here they are right here. So there's Frank and Pete. They're our new pool chickens. I thought that was funny. Hopefully you guys got a giggle out of that too. That these are my chickens here in the garden. I am allowed to have chickens here in our suburban home. Our city does allow it, but since I have so much land dedicated to gardening every square inch, I don't really have any place to keep the chickens, and I don't want to keep chickens, live chickens, pinned up in a small coop all day, every day. If I have chickens, I want to be able to let them out, let them free range, do all those things, and I just don't have the space for that here. So even though the city says I can have them, these two guys, they'll have to do. All right, so let me flip this camera around, and I'm going to start out by showing you the patio rearrangement, and then we'll go through the garden. So let me flip the camera around. So here is the new patio rearrangement. If you are a follower of the channel, you'll know that the patio furniture used to be way back there, and the table used to be floating over here, and those chairs used to be kind of tucked over here. And we got tired of the way it was. We wanted the feeling of more space. So we brought everything forward, spread it out. I was able to regroup my pots around it. So it's looking really good. So I've just got a cart here. This is just a cheap kitchen cart that you can buy. I actually found this one at a flea market. I paid $10 for this. I painted it blue. It needs to be repainted, so don't judge that. I do need to repaint that. But this houses sunscreen and dive sticks and goggles and dog toys and all the stuff that we need right out here close to the pool. This is my house for that stuff. Then there's my grill. And there is the little fountain garden that we put in a few videos back earlier this summer. And so here we go. I had a death. I haven't replaced that plant in that pot yet, so just kind of ignore that brown spot. But I've got these pots here, blueberry growing. Got some new lanterns with the bug oil in them for at night where we're swimming. Did a little impromptu table behind the thing. I'll point that out in a minute. Another lantern, another pot. And then just kind of filled it in right here. And then here's the little dining area back here. These metal pots are just up here temporarily. I needed it because I'm seed starting in them. So these are beets, and you can see I'm already getting germination. So these are beets and radishes. This pot has not started yet. So hopefully we'll get some movement there with that guy. And then this one is getting going. So I have started planting fall crops, and these three pots are holding beets and radishes. So I just needed to get them put away for a moment. So as you can see here, this is literally simple, some wood. This is actually a shutter. I built my own shutters for my house, and this was the very first one I did because I thought this is the way I wanted them to look. And once I got them built, I hated it, I didn't like it. So it's just been sitting in the garage, and I needed something behind this couch to put pots on. So I just grabbed a sawhorse and my shutter, and this is my temporary thing. I'm on the lookout for something more permanent, but this works for now, and I kind of like it. It's interesting. So this is the patio, guys, all redone. There's our cucumbers still going crazy. We'll zoom in here and look at the little fish pond garden while we're here. I need to get in there and clean the water out, but the fish are doing good. The little waterfall's flowing. Our tea plant is doing good. That's a camellia that you actually brew tea out of. If you haven't gone back and watched that video, I encourage you to do it. I'll try to link it up here as well. But this is actually where tea comes from. So you can make your own tea, and then once you grow other herbs and stuff to make herbal teas, but that's the actual tea right there for just making good old sweet tea. The camellias. The one good thing about moving the patio furniture the way I did is you can actually see my hydrangeas back here now. So this is a limelight. This is a lace cap. And this is another limelight. All right, so let's take off and keep walking here. You see our rose bush, we pruned that up in our cleanup video. All the weeds have been pulled. Elephant ears here, and even since I cleaned this plant up, more elephant ears do this. They're kind of a bit messy, so they're constantly, lower leaves are dying off, new leaves are coming up, so this needs a good clean out again, even though I just did it, but that's okay. I've planted some beans here and here, and I've got some more beans planted here under the Tithonia to get hopefully a late summer harvest of beans. And let me step back and show you the Tithonia. This is a Mexican sunflower, and it is going bananas in this spot. It absolutely loves this spot, and they really are pretty flowers. So that's that. And we'll just walk through here and see it's all cleaned up. All the weeds are gone. The echinacea got trimmed back, so it's starting to rebloom. You can see some fresh flower heads coming out, nice vibrant colors. There's some reds popping out there. This blue salvia is still looking good. My green onions, I've said this before, guys, but I love green onions. These are just normal green onions that you can buy in your grocery store to cook with. When you're done using the green tops, plant the root, and it does these beautiful little spikes, and they will flower, but it's such an interesting texture in the garden. It really is good. I like it. The big purple fountain grass got moved here. Oh, and let's look over here, because it used to sit right here at the pool. And now I've got my set of 3 pots here. And so these are looking much better here. They're enjoying their new home. Everything's flushing out a lot better. They're getting a lot more sunlight. Looking good. I got the bee balm all trimmed up, all the weeds pulled through here. This marigold has started to bloom once I got weeds pulled away from it, so that's handy. That plant has been sitting there green all summer up to this point, and the day after I pulled all the weeds from out around it, it started shedding buds, and now those buds are opening, so I'm enjoying that. Here's one of my big pots that we did. The melon sage, it smells wonderful. It's covered in those pink flowers. I love it. Here is our African daisies. My grapevine hyacinth, or hyacinth bean vine, on this pole. If you follow my channel, you know that I had one planted here at this base and a rabbit ate it. So I had to put another one. So this side is way farther along. and it's beautiful. Look at all those blooms, and it's going crazy over here. And it's starting to vine across, and I helped that during the cleanup video. I helped train it, but this one is finally starting to take off. We're getting some branching, and it is finally starting to blend in with the black-eyed Susan vine. And I love the contrast that these two do. The complement on this is really good. So you can see the big, pretty purple spikes with the soft little yellow flowers. It just blends together so well. All right, here's this other pot. I gave this a pretty good haircut. I not only trimmed it in, I trimmed it off. I should hopefully get a second flush of this. I didn't trim as heavy in this section because there were some pretty nice flowers left in this section, and the bees are still enjoying that and other bugs. But this section was looking really ratty, so I really gave it a good summer haircut. This is another bee balm, an echinacea that I just planted with this one. Our ornamental onion in this pot is going crazy. Beautiful allium bloom. Our big pot of marigolds. And here is the sweet autumn clematis. Guys, it is getting ready. You see those little white blossoms? It is absolutely covered. Here, let me walk in closer. So every one of these is a flower head, a flower bud that is set on this vine. All of them, they're everywhere. This is what a sweet autumn clematis does. And here's one opened up here. So you can see, I mean, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of flower buds. And they are starting to open. So pretty soon this will just be a wash of beautiful white blooms all over this plant. And they will last through fall, which is why it's called a sweet autumn clematis. And those flowers are fragrant, so they will fill the garden with a fragrance. And I know in the cleanup video, I said that I was gonna try to trim this pumpkin out of the clematis vine. Well, I missed the opportunity to do that because I've got a pumpkin growing in the vine. And I just hated to cut that out since it's looking so good. So I'm just gonna let it be and see what happens. And it's shooting out some more runners here, and it's doing really good. My little owl planter with some red petunias is looking pretty good. This section got a heavy-handed cleanup. There was a lot of dead and stuff, leaves and debris that had to be cleaned out of here. Lots of big weeds. And I discovered a aphid problem and a spider mite problem. So I have been treating these with neem oil and dish soap to try to kill those pests, and it is working. The rudbeckia is coming back, so it's got some nice healthy leaves on it. The flowers are pretty much spent. I need to trim on it some more, but it's looking much better. And this variety of rudbeckia was not quite as bad as this variety, so it's looking much better. This is a pentas. It's a butterfly attractor, just a nice little fun accent there. The butterfly bush. This is looking really nice. I love the ferny texture on this vine, and the little red flowers all over it are really nice. Hummingbirds have been appreciating it. So again, the green onion, just a nice, interesting texture. I planted another echinacea back there. This Gumphrena is starting to take off and getting lots of its blooms on it. So that's looking better. The rabbits were eating it too. This celosia is doing great. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, I planted celosia in this spot last year, and all of this is volunteer plants that self-seeded and came back. So we've got this really interesting pinky, orangey red one. It's really fun. A solid pinky purple, and then the big yellows. So really interesting. I'm enjoying these being here. I still have some gladiolas blooming. A clematis vine. No flowers right now. It's pretty much done for the year. Daylilies. The fairy garden pot is currently in the enchanted forest. You cannot see it. The impatiens love this spot, and they have absolutely gone gangbusters in this pot. They filled it up. The creeping Jenny is falling over and going through, so it looks really good now. And then there's still a fairy garden hidden in there later when this stuff dies out, so we can clean that up and it'll still look good through the winter. Lavender is looking okay. This big clump of lamb's ear is looking good. This Rudbeckia here is doing great since getting weeded and cleaned up over here. And this great big huge marigold has sprung to life. And you know, I did dig up those 2 ditch lilies that were there, and I have seeded some new zinnia seeds there. Hopefully we'll get some movement on those. I just did that yesterday, so hopefully we'll get something there. It's the other butterfly bush. This is a watermelon vine, and there are baby watermelons all over it. Let's see. Right here's one. So hopefully those will continue to grow. Here's my zinnia patch. These are looking so good. And the okra, I'm picking okra every single day. This is what okra does. If you live in Central Arkansas and need some okra, give me a shout. I got some. So we are actually freezing this and filling the freezer with it, so we'll have okra all winter long. Watermelon vine just going everywhere, all through here, which I like. I like the way that it softens the edge. It's just meandering around, poking through. I think it's pretty looking, so it's working for me. Asparagus. Everything's looking good. Now this was a video right here we did a while back where I planted this planter up early spring. It was really still winter and it looked beautiful, but that stuff died out, didn't make it. So I had to do a mid-spring refresh on this pot, and I threw these begonias in, and they are looking amazing. This pot is looking great. So I am loving it. It's nice, bright, it's pretty, it looks good. It looks good with everything else. So that's looking really good. There's our guard dog, our herd keeper there. He's getting old. He likes to lay around these days. Big macho fern. I've got to come in here and clean out from under this hydrangea again. I haven't done that in a while. Look at the wheelbarrow planter, guys. I mean, looking so good. Again, the impatiens are loving this spot. They're big and healthy and pretty and just looking really good. And the caladium bulbs are poking through and doing exactly what I wanted to do there, providing a little pop of color and texture, so that's looking good. And then these veggies down here are looking good. So a few more zinnias, some canna lilies. I've been picking lots of tomatoes. They're ripening up really well. Pruned back to basil, limbed up both tomato plants, so there's lots of airflow now. Not so as many problems as I was having before. This Tabasco pepper is loaded. If you are a small home gardener, a Tabasco pepper will just, it is prolific, one plant. So these are still growing. I'm gonna let these go all summer long. And then at the end, my hope is to harvest and make my own Tabasco hot sauce. So we'll see how it goes. You know, anything can happen. I could get some sort of bugs or mildew or blight on this thing, but right now it's absolutely loaded down with peppers and looking great. So I'm hoping it continues on. This tangerine dream pepper that I got, not doing so well. It is what it is. I'm gonna let it be. My one surviving sunflower, all my other sunflowers got eaten, but this one has been bagged up. Yes, this is a gift bag. It's what I had on hand. But this is the way you keep your sunflowers from getting eaten by the birds and the mice and the raccoons and whatever else comes into your yard. You have to bag them up if you don't want to share. And especially for me, since that's the only one that I had survive this year, that's the only sunflower seeds I'm going to get. So I bagged it to protect it. And I've got some more Mexican sunflowers down here too. Our little hanging basket with our Dichondra Silver Falls, bell peppers, lipstick peppers, cinnamon basil, regular jalapeno, mild jalapeno, zucchini, green beans. So this is it, guys. It's looking good. I got some stray sweet potato vines cleaned up, got this area back manageable. I don't know if I've ever pointed out this daylily or not, but how pretty are these? This is a variety I got from Gilbert H. Wild. They are one of the biggest daylily providers, but how stunning is this daylily with that bright yellow throat and those awesome red leaves, flower petals. So nice. It stands out for sure. Gladiola is really nice. My Three Sisters garden back here, guys, is not faring very well. I had hoped to leave the corn just to use it as fall decorations in the Halloween and fall, but the mice or squirrels or whatever just wouldn't leave it alone, so I've pulled it out. The moonflower, look at this. Finally got some blooms on my moonflower. The neighbor's dog barks a lot. How pretty are these, guys? And then more pumpkins, another watermelon. So just a variety back here. But I am super happy with the moonflower that it is finally blooming. So that's looking really good. And you can kind of see another view back here, this backside. There's our guys again. They're just out foraging. So that wraps it up. Well, guys, that is the garden tour for today and the introduction to our chickens. So again, I hope you found that funny. I thought, well, I'll introduce our chickens. I thought that could be kind of fun. So, but that's it. That's the garden tour for August post cleanup. If you watched the cleanup videos, I know they were kind of long, but it was a lot of work. So that's why it took a long time to get the jungle cleaned up. But I'm feeling so much better. I'm loving the yard again, that all this work is done. And now it's just keeping on those daily routines, grabbing a few weeds here and there as you see them, as you're watering, as you're enjoying your garden. And so that really is the secret. Just stay on top of it as best as you can and don't let it get too out of control. A little every day helps. Even if it's just 1 or 2 weeds a day, those 1 or 2 won't be there tomorrow and you can focus on 1 or 2 more. So that's my encouragement and my advice for you. Hopefully you've seen something in the yard today that you liked. Maybe it inspired you. Maybe you have a question for me about how I do something. Please feel free to shoot me an email, leave a comment below, tell me how you liked this video, maybe pop in a hashtag new chicken, just something fun. So guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, please consider doing so. I try to have fun, I try to do stuff that's interesting. You never know where we're gonna go or what we're gonna get up to around here on Horticulture Geek. So follow along on our journey. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment. But until next time, from my garden to yours, I wish you all the best and happy gardening. See you later.